Hello vinyl community, it's Sham. I'm entering a competition for low noise Jason Skilz. It is 800 subs contest. I'm sure he's over 800 subs now, but I don't know if I can't remember if it's in celebration of having over 800 subs or he's trying to get the 800 subs. Either way, you have to show your favourite concerts, and you've only got the 15th of November to do it, so I'm getting it in now while I can. I've been to thousands of concerts. In fact, there's bands that I can't even remember seeing, but I know I've seen because they're on tickets. And yet there's tons of concerts where you went in and you got stamped on the hand and you never even got a ticket, paid at the door. You could do that those days. Now you've got to buy them in advance and show them and everything. Those days you could just turn up, queue, and get in. But anyway, I'm not showing any tickets because I haven't got a quarter. Well, in fact, I've only got about a quarter of the gigs that I've been to, tickets wise, and especially the last 20 years. I mean, it's all electronic stuff on your phone. So anyway, these are in no particular order. Some of the bands I've seen and some of the concerts that are memorable. Ramones. Seen them a few times. One of the best times, the support act were the Boys, which are a superb punk group in their own right. I would have paid to have seen the Boys, but after the Boys did the excellent set, these lads ran out, and it was the days when they had the Gabba Gabba Hey thing that I used to hold up, and the roadies would come on with a pinhead masks on, rubber masks. And I mean, if you've ever seen the Ramones live, fantastic. It's Alive, which I haven't actually got on vinyl, I've only got on CD. It's probably the greatest live album out there, I think. But yeah, I mean, the Ramones with the Boys supporting them, that was a good tour. Next band I've probably seen the most out of every band, British Sea Power. I mean, they've been going like 20 years now or whatever. I've seen them every opportunity I could get, sometimes multiple nights, and I just love them. Indie group, not everybody's cup of tea, and I've seen them everywhere. And they've probably got the best merch or whatever it's called, in the business. I mean, you can get everything from slow gin to pencils and badges and mugs. God, I used to have hundreds of mugs. They brought a mug out every month virtually, and in the end they were just sitting in a cupboard, and my wife says, so I sold them all on eBay. But I had badges and hats and God knows what. It was a great collection, but it was useless, so I don't buy them anymore. But if you're into that sort of stuff, and I know a lot of you younger guys are, and girls, you know, if you follow British Sea Power, you can get some great stuff at the concerts and from their website. But yes, British Sea Power, excellent live. I've got a load of playlists from the band, you know, that I've taken after the concerts, sitting in a big pile of them. But I mean, who doesn't love a set list? But anyway, British Sea Power, the band I've probably seen the most, at least in recent years. I can't remember how many times I've seen them now, but I can't even remember how many. That many. A band I've only seen a couple of times now, or 3. Whole. I've been, like I've just said, I've been to thousands of gigs, and this, when I first went to see Whole, blew me away. I didn't really care for them, and I went along because somebody wouldn't go on that one, so I went along with them. And I'm so glad I did. It was fantastic. I didn't know a single song. I mean, there's a couple I'd heard on the radio, but I didn't know them. I didn't know the song. I couldn't sing along to anything. But they came on in Glasgow, and she just blew me away. Fantastic. And now she only plays like 4 concerts in Britain when she comes. But, God, what a concert. I mean, I dare say I'll go to one and I'll be really disappointed, and you might say, oh, I saw them in Los Angeles and they were shite. But I've seen them and they blew me away. Whole. Fantastic. And I didn't think I would even like them. I thought I'd be just stand there being a chaperone. But I loved it. So, Whole. Fantastic. That's a great band. Joy Division. I used to follow the Buzzcocks, and the support act for a tour with the Buzzcocks was Joy Division. So of course I went to see them more than once, and I'm so glad I did, because obviously what happened to them, or what he did to himself, they weren't around forever, but they weren't huge then. People hardly knew who they were, but God, you could tell there was something in the air, and they didn't disappoint. But when these went off, Buzzcocks came on, who I actually paid to see, but the Buzzcocks are fantastic. But I've only got records on CDs or singles, so I thought I'd just mention these instead. Yes, Joy Division, supporting the Buzzcocks, fantastic. Right, one of my favourite bands, Theatre of Hate, Kirk Brandon, also Spear of Destiny in the Pack, and solo, fantastic. First time I saw these, I was supporting somebody else, I can't remember who it was, but they came on with the saxophone and everything, and they blew me away. They were great. So I saw them every chance I got then on, and they didn't disappoint. Fantastic band. I mean, really. I mean, a lot of people don't like them in the VC, even in the, but God, excellent band, and actually had one of the best fights in my life following these, but that's a different story. I took on the weird blokes, but anyway, different story. Gabriel Volte, great live, and I saw them supporting the Fall. I really wanted to see the Fall, and the Fall were rubbish. And I've heard records and quite liked them, and these blew them off the stage, I'm afraid. Gabriel Volte supporting the Fall. Fall couldn't live up to it. So I don't know if the Fall were that bad just because they were bad, they were having an off night or whatever. And it was in the early days of the Fall and these, but Gabriel Volte blew them off the stage. So yeah, Gabriel Volte, excellent. A band I saw nearly every chance I got, and I was actually at this concert that's been recorded here. December 78 and October 79 live in Newcastle. I was at both concerts, and that it was at this concert she said she was splitting the band up, and it was like, oh, but there was great support on this as well. Punishment of Luxury. I don't know if you've ever heard of Punny Lux. Pardon me, I'm not even sure where they're from. I think they might be a local Newcastle band. But, oh God, Punny Lux are excellent. Punishment of Luxury, Puppet Life, And the B-side to Puppet Life is great, but I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head. Excellent. Penetration. Short-lived. I mean, only were going for 3 years, I think. 77 to late 76 to 79. But they were excellent. Really good. Pauline Murray. Robert Blamire, I think he's called. Yeah, great. Right. I saw the Pistols when they were Filthy Lucre tour. Years after the ED. They were still good. But I much prefer this group. Public Image. Seen them a handful of times. And they've been brilliant every time. And he nearly always records his tours, so you know you can go and find the gig you were at online easy. But obviously, when I first saw them, Jar Wobble and everybody was with them, and now I couldn't name you another member of the band apart from Johnny Rotten, John Lydon, but still excellent. And even when they bring out a CD or whatever and it's a bit ropey and you think, oh, once you actually start listening to it, and when you see it live, you go back and you think, oh, this is great. So yeah, Public Image, worth checking out. And if you get a chance to see Johnny Rotten and you haven't seen him before, I mean, he's a big fat old man now. He can't help it. I mean, we all are. We're not young 15, 16 snotty kids anymore. But he can still do it. And he's a superb act. And he always delivers. So if you get the chance to see Public Image, take it. Now, you've noticed now, I'm not giving you dates and that because I don't know the dates on most of them. I mean, I suppose I could go online and find out when the group played such and such a place. But there's the fun in that. Now here's a band I saw far too many times and I loved them. I have spent so many nights in freezing cold railway stations and bus shelters and other places following this band, the Jam. Right back from 1978, 77, right away through the career, with the 980 split up, excellent band, excellent live. I mean, whenever he played places, he sometimes played them 2 nights in a row. You know, especially the big towns. So you didn't have to go anywhere. You could just hang around all day and go and see them again. But yeah, I mean, I've seen them supporting the record supporting them. I've seen Vapors. Can't remember. Anyway, I can't remember. But you know, the Jam, excellent live. They really were. And for years they were my favourite band, and for years they were my favourite concerts, and over the years they're not, but they'll always be in my heart, the Jam. Yeah. Now one of the bands I've seen loads of times and I love, and he's still producing the goods, Jimmy Pursey, Sham 69. Pardon me. There was a time when, pardon me, bless me, there was a time when you could go and see Sham 69 and the only original person in the band was the second drummer. But now they're playing as the original lineup. And fantastic. Sham 69, great live. If you can get through the concert without getting your head kicked in, they're great. And that doesn't happen so much nowadays, but like back in the day, you really were risking it because the National Front would all burst in and you'd have to fight them off. But that wasn't Sham 69's fault. Great. This is actually a bootleg of the last stand where he packed it in. But excellent. Another great group, unloved by most, the Slits. They always had a total different way of thinking than most punk bands. They weren't just boo, boo, boo. People said they couldn't play it, they couldn't. But as it developed their own reggae sound, I mean, they were fantastic, especially round about when this album first came out, and that tour was excellent. I'd first seen them supporting The Clash years ago, and then I'd seen them a couple of more times, and then I saw them a couple of times on this tour, and they were excellent. And I bumped into Viv in Newcastle, and she remembered us by something I'd done for her a few years ago, so that was good. And she signed me ticket, and that's the only one of the only tickets from that era I've still got. Thinking of you, Viv, she's got on it. But yeah, great people, great band. And I mean, Harry Up was strange. I mean, she was a German, and she started trying to, like, she spoke with like a patois, whatever it's called, a Jamaican patois, because she loved it. I mean, she was a jar, whatever it's called. What do you call them? Jar? I don't know. What the reggae people do, all into their gods. Jar. Don't know what the religion's called. But anyway, she was one of them, and people thought she was putting it on, but she was genuine. She was lovely, lovely woman. Sadly died of cancer, and she didn't get the treatment she wanted for cancer because of her dreadlocks. She didn't want to lose her dreadlocks. Basically, I would have lost every single hair in my head, and bought a dreadlock wig and a big hat, rather than die of a horrible disease just so you didn't want to lose your hair, which obviously she lost when she died anyway. So silly, but she had her beliefs, and she was going off to see Jar. Now this group, fantastic. I've seen them people supporting them, and one of the best gigs was actually in Newcastle. Holly and the Italians, who I love, were supporting them, and there was another band, then Holly and the Italians, and then The Clash. But I mean, this tour really was when they started becoming good. Give them enough rope. Then the next one, my Strummer, Simon smashing his guitar up, London Calling. That was an excellent album. And then I actually bought 2 tickets to see them again. And then I got my call-up papers, and I'd give them to my wife, and she went, and she said it was a great concert. So I could actually see them twice more if I just didn't go in the army, but hey ho, it's a different story. And then of course I never saw them again until Strummer, when Strummer was touring before his death, and I took a big pile of empty records and with that memorabilia and books and stuff to get signed, and I carried them around all concert, and I was thinking, I'm not going to get rid of these, I'm not going to get them signed. Then I saw them, I went round the back and I saw them. I said, Joe. And of course, Joe's a man of the people. So he didn't just fob us off. He came over, shook my hand and stuff. And I said, Joe, sign all these, please. And he said, yeah, all right. I'll sign this, I says. And he said, right, think maybe it's one thing. And then I kept giving him more and more and more. And he said, bloody hell. But he did, he signed them all, and he was great. And at the time I didn't have a camera phone thing, is I would have had some photographs taken with them. But hey ho, I don't need proof that I met the guy. I know I've met him, so great. And so they're the Clash. Excellent band. Joe Strummer, an excellent man. Sadly missed. Adam Nyans. Punk Adam Nyans. Fantastic band. Fantastic live. I've got like hundreds of bootleg CDs of Adam Nyans. Nearly every concert he played in the back in the day. And I saw him right up until I was actually on the tour. I think it was called the Frontier Tour when he broke. He'd already Malcolm McLaren had already stolen his band. And he'd got it back together with Marco Peroni, who was a famous old punk, and all the two drummers and all that stuff. Terry Day from who became Terry Limal, I think that was his real name, from the Models, as well as Marco, and they were signed to CBS, and they brought out Kings of the Wild Frontier, the single, and I thought it was great. I was all for it. Then he brought out Dog Eat Dog, and I thought it was good. Then they went on Top of Pops, and it went from Overnight, where studded leather mohawks with painted leather jackets like Wall had, to teenagers basically, and pre-teenagers all coming to the concerts. So they got ditched. And for a while I didn't follow them at all after that, and it was only years later I relented and went to see them again, and he put up with them doing ant music and Prince Charming and that, to hear the punk songs that you like, that he always does, his encores and everything. So he's still got it, and he's got every right to be famous, he's got every right to sing his songs, but yeah, I prefer this era, Adam Nyans. But they were excellent live, fantastic. I've saw them too many times to remember. And last but not least for this, I don't know how many I was supposed to show, but I'll just grab some. This isn't every great band I've ever seen, but these are one of the greatest. Susie and the Banshees. First saw them right back in the day. I saw them before they actually had a record deal out, and that wasn't so hard really, because I don't think they signed until 1978, considering they'd been there right at the 100 Club. But anyway, Susie and the Banshees, great live. I've seen them, so many people supporting them. I mean, all the images I really got to like because they were supporting these. And I know everyone thinks, all that images, pops, but they didn't used to be. You listen to the early stuff like Insects and that, in the days late because of me trains late or whatever it is. The early stuff on the John Peel sessions. You listen to the John Peel sessions of Altered Images, fantastic. And one of the best times I've seen these was the tour when Robert Smith of The Cure was supporting. So of course you'd watch a Cure, which were great. Then Susie would come on, and Robert Smith would be playing in that concert. So he'd do the 2 hours or the hour and a half or whatever it is that they were allowed to support act, The Cure. Then he'd have his little break, and then he'd come back and play the 2 hours of Susie and the Banshees as a guitarist. But I've seen all the guitarists, Roger McGeoch and whatever his name is, and them all. I've seen, I saw the early version where the two guys had buggered off, and I've seen them two on the back. I would rather him. No, in fact, no, that's not them. That's Budgie. But yeah, Susie and the Banshees, excellent. I've seen them so many times, and it went from being like punk rockers to being like full of goths. And I last saw them in Tynemouth a couple of weeks ago. I saw Susie in Tynemouth, not the Banshees. But I've never seen the Creatures with her and Budgie, and I doubt that'll ever come off now. but I have seen the band, and I can't remember the name of it now, that Steve Severin and Budgie did. So yeah, that was good. And that's about it. I mean, there's some bands I've seen that I haven't even got vinyl records of, and it's like the Pogues. Every year at Christmas time, they used to go on tour for years, 20 years, and I'd see them every year. And there was been some superb support acts. I first saw one of my favourite bands, Urban Voodoo Machine, supporting the Pogues. I saw Dropkick Murphys for the first time supporting the Pogues. And there's a story. I mean, I saw them supporting the Pogues, and they were fantastic, Dropkick Murphys. Then I saw them on their own, or they were supporting Less Than Jake or somebody, and they were shite. If that had been the first time I'd ever seen the Dropkick Murphys, I would never have seen them again. But because I knew they'd been good the previous time, I went to see them again. And so between the Pogues and the Dropkick Murphys, I mean, I was a good 10 year of seeing them 3 or 4 times a year, every year. It was great. But Albar's left, I think, the Dropkick Murphys now, so it won't be the same. And I know Albar wasn't the original singer, I'm forgetting his name now, but I actually liked Albar better than the original singer, so from the first 2 albums, I think it was. But yeah, I think it's because Albar's mother's ill or something. But hopefully he'll get back with the Murphys, and we'll see them again soon. But I haven't seen the Dropkick Murphys since the lockdown. I had tickets to go and see them, and I just didn't want to. I didn't want to go all the way to Glasgow to see them, so I didn't bother. But I sold them. But great gigs. Pogues, Dropkick Murphys, and countless others. You know, if I had a list, I would think, I remember that, and I'd tell you about that. But there's 27 minutes now of rubbish, me talking about my favourite concerts. So hopefully you might have seen some of these bands, and I'm sorry I couldn't come up with dates and I saw them then and I saw them then. I've seen them most of these bands I've mentioned now. I've seen countless times, and it would bore you if I said, I saw them blah 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 blah, and I can't even remember. I haven't got tickets for most of them. So thanks for watching if you bothered. And go and support Jason, Low Noise Jason Skilz. I will put a link down, and go and check his channel out because it's good. Thanks for watching.